What's up, Bridge Campers? I want to talk to you guys today in this episode, Bullies in the Bible. And we want to talk about three famous names that sometimes are hard to pronounce, but it's Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. That's right, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Let me hear you try to say it. Okay, today we're going to talk about in Bullies in the Bible, three distinct guys who was working for this King Nebuchadnezzar. Another interesting name, King Nebuchadnezzar, who has built this tall statue that he wanted all the people to worship. And the three guys, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they refused to worship this statue because they was worshiping the one true God. And they had so many people who didn't like them because they moved up very fast in working for this king, and they reported that they wanted to worship this statue. So being that they wanted to worship it, they had got pushed into a situation where King Nebuchadnezzar said, if you don't worship this statue, then you're going to be thrown in this furnace. Now the furnace is a big place where they throw things in that are burning things at a high temperature, and it was a place of punishment and torture as well. So because they didn't worship, they turned it up 7 times hotter to throw them in this furnace, to throw them in this big place that has flames where they can die. But I want to switch the topic right now, and I want to talk about peer pressure. Peer pressure. We're talking about bullies in the Bible, and we talk about King Nebuchadnezzar being a bully. He was being a bully to these three guys, saying, if you don't do what I say, then we're going to kill you. Can you imagine being peer pressure? Have you been peer pressured? Have you been peer pressured to the point where someone threatened you? This is bullying. When peer pressure becomes threatening, this is called bullying. If someone peer pressures you, what do you do? Do you stand up like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? Do you say no? Do you give into it? Are you concerned about what they're going to do to you? Are you tired of being picked on? So you give in for the sake of just not trying to deal with the harassment, the teasing, the lunch money being taken from you, being pushed, being tripped, being joked. How much pressure can a peer put on you for you to give in and just allow certain things to happen to you that's not right? So that's what we're talking about today, Bridge Campers, with Bullies in the Bible. We're talking about peer pressure. Peer pressure. You see, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego knew that God loved them, knew that God was on their side, knew that God was with them, and they knew that God had the authority to allow King Nebuchadnezzar to do what he's going to do or to stop him. But no matter what, they're not going to worship this statue. They're going to worship God, because God has the final say. And that's what we want to encourage you today in Bullies in the Bible. God has the final say. God is with you. When you stand up for what is right, when you do what God has told you to do, no matter what people try to pressure you to do, know that God is on your side, and the outcome is going to be the best outcome, rather than giving in and doing something negative like others may be doing. So Shadrach and Meshach and Abednego got thrown into the furnace because they didn't bow down, they didn't worship this statue. And when they got thrown into the furnace, and it was turned up so high that the king looked and said, I thought we threw 3 of them in there. But when he looked, he saw that it was 4 people in there, and one of them looked like the Son of God. Now I want to encourage you guys to look at this example today. When your back is against the wall, when you've done all you've done to do what's right, God is with you. Even when peer pressure is threatening, even when people say you have to do something or they're going to do this, I want to encourage you today, like I encouraged you guys on our last video, to tell a trusted adult. Tell your parents, tell the teacher, but don't give in to negativity. Don't give in to doing drugs. Don't give in to breaking things. Don't give in to hurting other people, bullying people, making fun of other people. Even if you're being threatened, tell, and remind yourself that God is with you even when things get hot. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego had God with them. They didn't bow down. They didn't give in to the negativity. They trusted God even to the end. Being that they did not give in, not only did King Nebuchadnezzar pull them out of the furnace, but he ended up worshiping God, the one true God. So when you stand up for what is right, you may change the person who's trying to do the peer pressure, who's trying to be negative, who's trying to do something that causes hurt and harm to others. You may change their heart. You may open up their eyes and open up their ears to see that this is not the right way to go because you did what was right. You may be the example. Be the leader in your area. Be the leader to stand up and say, no, I'm not doing that, or no, this is not right, or no, I was taught better, or hey guys, let's think of something else to do rather than doing this, because you may be the one that can help and save many people out of situations when it comes to peer pressure, when it comes to negative activities. So I want to encourage you guys in this episode of Bullies in the Bible to not be a follower, but be a leader. If someone is trying to encourage you to follow something negative, be that example and lead them to something positive by standing up for what is right, by saying no, by sharing it with your parents, sharing it with a trusted adult, sharing it with the teachers, and those who are watching you, once again, will learn from your actions, will learn from your decision of standing up. Don't allow people to peer pressure you to do something that's going to cause harm to yourself and harm to others. This is Rosean, Lindsey. Thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of Bullies in the Bible. We're talking about King Nebuchadnezzar. We talk about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And we're encouraging you guys, no matter what someone says and try to pressure you to do something negative, turn away from it. Peace.